Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I want to talk a little bit about the Night Fairies by Paolo Barbieri. And I must admit, I do have quite a few of Paolo Barbieri decks. So I've got this Night Fairies one, Star Dragons, Unicorns, I've got the Chinese Oracle and the Zodiac Oracle. I don't have the Cats ones. It's got, I think, Fantasy Cats or something. I don't have that one. I've got the Barbieri Tarot. He's actually got a tarot deck, which I've never worked with, but I do have because I just like his artwork. And heads up, there's a new one coming, which is all about Dante's Inferno. That'll be interesting. I was just looking at Amazon actually, and it looks like it's in the UK anyway. It's going to be published on the 8th of November of this year. So I've had this deck for a while now, and used it and loved it. I think it's very informative. So here we have the guidebook, and the text is by Rachel Paul, and it's in different languages. So in English we have, I think, 50 pages in English, and then we go on to the different languages, which is a Lo Scarabeo type setup anyway of most of their decks. So we've got English, Italian, Spanish and Portuguese. It's a 2022 deck. There's some instructions in the front of the book on how to use the deck, how to select the cards, and some spreads. And I like this one. So we have card of the night, card of the day, and for card of the night you gain for insight, but card of the day is energies or developments that are still in potential but not yet active. So I thought that is really quite interesting way of looking at a 2-card spread. And we've got a 3-card there. So yeah, 2 spreads in the book. And then we go on to the card meanings, and we start with the cards of beautiful coloured cards, and then on to, at the end of that, the phase. So yeah, it's an interesting deck, an interesting framework to this deck, and like I say, he's done the same in a couple of other decks as well, so it's a nice concept. So in the deck we have 32 cards altogether, and 26 of them are, like I say, in colour, and then the other 6 are monochrome. Now then, why? Well, because the structure of this deck is quite specific. So if we go to a monochrome, we can see that it's a Fae. So this is the Fae of Wonder, this is the Fae of Innocence, and so on and so forth. There are 6 of these Faes. Now, the way you could use that, or the way I've used it myself, is you deliberately choose which Fae you want to work with. So if you wanted to bring more childlike innocence into your life, you want to play with your inner child, then maybe you could choose card 2, the Fae of Innocence. So you would use that card as the focal point, the framework for the actual reading, and then shuffle the rest of the deck for insight into that energy. So it's a lovely way of doing it. Or you could randomly pull one of the cards from this monochrome part of the deck, so that it's your subconscious letting you know intuitively what area needs to be discovered or delved into a little bit deeper. So there's the 2 ways of actually using those cards. So we cover 6 areas of Fae here, or Fae energy. So we have, the first one is live in wonder. So live in awe of the world around you and notice things. The second one is, like I said, the inner child. So looking at the world through that sort of perspective. The third one is like a strength type energy, a warrior type energy, when you need that sort of thing. There's some advice there, and then you can, choose or randomly pick a card to give you further insight into how to tap into your warrior spirit. Then we have joy, which is quite similar. I think that a couple of them are quite similar. I think the Living Wonder, the Inner Child and the Joy cards are quite similar in energy, just little nuances that are different. And we've got Logic, so, you know, using your wits. That's another Fae type of energy. And then we have Friendship. So each of them is accompanied by a animal totem. So with the Fae of Joy, we have a tortoise there. We're keeping a secret, do not tell. So the Fae of Logic, we have a badger. And the Fae of Friendship, we've got this little mouse. And what else do we have? We have, for the warrior, interestingly enough, a dragonfly. Is that what you were expecting? A dragonfly? And then for the Fae of Innocence, we have a crow. Also some plant energy there as well, if that's something you're au fait with. So that's the structure of the deck. That's the way the deck is set up. It's designed to actually be used sort of with new moon type energy or darker times of the year. Yeah, the reason that I'm doing this video is because I've bought a book, and the book I bought is because of the deck, because as I said, I love the artwork in this deck. So when I realised there's a book and look at the size of this book, I thought, yep, I'm going to get this book. So this is also by Los Galileo, and it is also Night Fairies, and if I can, how much I can get into the screen here, but it's quite a big book. So if I put it that way so you can see it, and then I put the deck that way, then you can see the difference. So I thought I'm going to have a look at this and see, you know, if the images are massive in here and what it's like. So let's just take the cellophane off here. Stop that annoying glare. Okay, so it's quite shiny as well, even without the cellophane. So what does the back say? To me, there is one word that describes Paolo Barbieri's art: light. His paintings possess an intimate light of their own, an almost mystical, ecological spiritualism that glows within and without. And on the back here, we've got a really large image of one of the cards in the deck. Actually, this is, it's a bit damaged, actually, this book. Oh, that's a shame. In fact, it is damaged. Oh, what a shame. Yeah, it's definitely been damaged in at the bottom there, so that's a bit of a shame. Very shiny. It's also done by Lo Scarabeo, and we have on the end papers here some sketches, yeah, front and back sketches in what looks like blue. So it's a sketching pencil, one of those blue sketching pencils, and we can actually immediately see some of the cards here in sketch form. If you know the deck, you should recognise quite a lot of these. And here they're in reverse. Yeah, that's interesting, because the image on the front end covers is in reverse on the end cover at the back, which is that's, yeah, didn't know that. We have about 95 pages with a table of contents at the back. We've got all the creatures are listed here. So, and as it say, Night Fairies in the night, so it's all about nighttime energy. So I've just got a front page there. Let's have a little look. This is 2020, the book, so the book came out before the deck. That's interesting. I did not know that. So we've got some sketch work again here. very interesting, isn't it, to see a process, an artist's process. I mean, how come all these beautiful wiggly lines end up to be something so absolutely gorgeous? So there are two languages in this book, Italian and English. So we get Italian text here, but we also get the English translation. So that's good. So here, I mean, there's a full page of Italian text. When we turn over the page, we have that in English. Yeah, so this page is about in the night, and what happens in the night while we're all asleep. Look. There is something in the air this night that brings scents and smells from ancient sites. There is something in the air this night that brings magic and spells from distant times. There is something in the air this night that brings whispers and awakening calls. It's very poetic. We've got another sketch here. And then we've got a little tagline, reality, illusion or magic. Beautiful. I suppose I'm not showing this to its full advantage really, but you get the idea. So now we have a story. So these sketches on the following pages actually make up a story. So we start with sunset, then we go to evening, and then in the night a mushroom, and then it says a mushroom or a little creature, and then this actually goes on through these sketches into a little story. That's nice. I won't read it you because I don't want to spoil it if you have this book yourself or you're thinking of getting it. So here we go with some large scale images of the deck. So we have card 17 and also the front of the box and the front of this book, which is the protector. And here it says, in the night, a fairy wakes up among the flowers and the hum of a sleepy insect. And the title is B. So if you want to see the images in a larger format, this is a wonderful book. Then we have Eagle, and this is card 21. In the night, a fairy wakes up and soars in flight alongside a magnificent queen of the skies. So every entry starts with, in the night, a fairy wakes up. So these are the Night Fairies. So we have Horse, which is card 6, the fire within. Stag, card 20 is the dancer. Swan, transformation. Owl, and this is the wounded healer. Card 2. Hummingbird, card 23 is inspiration. And then we have one of the monochrome prints here. And interestingly enough, the colour tone is slightly different in the book than it is on the card. So it's more like a grayscale on the card with a little hint of colour on each one. In this case, it's a little purple for the flower. And here it's more of a sepia toned image, but it also has that splash of colour there. And this is the Fate of Wonder, the rabbit. In the night, a fairy wakes up among the smells of the undergrowth and a shy confidant. Then we have Crow, and this is the Fate of Innocence. Dragon, the Moon's Child, card 1. That's just magnificent. Magnificent. Butterfly is card 18, a Metamorphosis. It sort of looks at first glance as if this fae has got wings, but actually when you look closer, it is actually the butterfly. That is the ally, or the totem. So we have Cat here, which is the Huntress on card 3. We have a Griffin, which is Strength, card 10. So if you were actually pulling a Warrior card, which is the next card, yeah, it's the next card, Dragonfly, and then you also got the Strength card, well, that's doubling up that message, isn't it? You know, if we got the Warrior Fae, card 3, which are, they're Roman numerals actually, the Fae ones in the deck, whereas they're Arabic numbers in the coloured cards. So yeah, if we was to get card 10 and Griffin and the Warrior Fae together, then that really would double up that message, wouldn't it? You know, if it was doing it intuitively. So we have here Wolf, which is card 7, the Alpha. We have Mantis here, which is Influence. Whispering in the ear there. Then we have Bear, which is the Dawn. Card 22. Now, card 12 is Portal and the Frog. Card 5 is Patience and the Hedgehog. We have Squirrel for 26 and the actual Night Queen. It's a strange message on that one actually, because it says, in the night a fairy wakes up to an anxious acrobat. Why is the acrobat anxious? We ask ourselves. Anyway, card 25, the Awakening for Snake. Tortoise, which is one of the Fae, and this is the Fae of Joy. And it says, in the night a fairy wakes up and plays with an elderly lookout. Badger, another Fae, which is the Fae of Logic. We have Mouse, another Fae, which is the Friendship card. Then we're on to a Unicorn, which is card 1, Enchantment. Legendary Warrior. And then we have Fox, Discernment, card 13. So all of those cards we can find in the actual deck, apart from this one. This one is not in the deck. And then the cards that are not in the book are these ones. So card 9, Progress. One of my favourite cards, actually. I love that one. Self-Reliance, card 11. That's not in the book. We have Hallow's Calling. Pumpkin energy there. Resilience. And I absolutely adore this image, Release. And then this Christmassy one, which is Charity, the dragon. So those images are not in the book, as I say. So that's the difference there. And then this one is not in the deck, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And Far from the Night. So that's probably why, because it's a bit of a different energy. It's not in the night, but far from the night. While standing over a companion adorned with tiger stripes, a fairy wakes up to the daylight. So yeah, that's a nice twist on it, I think. All this bamboo here. And then we have a tortoise card. The Fae card there. In sketch form. We have a acknowledgements page here from Paolo Barbieri, and then 2 pages of Italian. which is the animals page. And what it does here, which is brilliant, this is written by Linnea Weatherstone, who's written quite a few other guidebooks for other decks, like the Forest of Enchantment Tarot, that was written by Linnea, Mystical Cat Tarot, the Vice Versa Tarot, quite a few decks that, yeah, Linnea's been involved with. Art Nouveau Lenormand deck. Yeah, there's quite a few that they've actually written text to, so they're quite knowledgeable. And here what they've done is talked about the energy or the essence of each of those animals. Yeah? So, horse. Horse nature is steadfast, accepting and true. When a horse gives friendship of its own free will, it is for a lifetime. Horse energy is loving. So for the for each entry here, it gives the energy. So bee energy is serious, eagle energy is sharp, horse energy is loving, stag energy is vigilant. So yeah, it's got all the different nuances there. And that's about 3 pages long. So really useful to use alongside the deck, I think. Here we're talking about Paolo Barbieri themselves and all about them. And as I say, we then have the table of contents at the back and some more sketches. Okay, so that's the book of the deck, the Night Fairies. And as I say, not all of the cards are in the book, and there's an extra illustration in the book that's not in the deck. So I like the way that we've got an extra layer there with the insect energy, the animal energy, the totem energy. I think it helps with using the deck, in my opinion. You don't need it, but I think it's just a nice little addition. So yeah, gosh, it'll soon be Christmas, won't it? Anyway, thank you so much for watching, friends, and until the next video.